So what we will do is trying to make a VCF, no, not a VCF, MVC solution, and we'll start making a website, and you'll see that I made it a little bit different from all the exercises because I want to minimize all the stuff. I don't use the stuff where we get an about site and a little bit more template, so we can come back to that later. So I'll just make a new solution, new project, and a new solution as well. This will be okay. Web application demo. Maybe so I'll make a simple calculator. That should be the most simple nearly you can do. So we choose this one, and this will be okay. Estimate 4.6. I don't need any stuff. Actually, I could even use this one, but this one is default now, so I choose this one. And then I will choose the empty one. If you choose this one, you can see you will actually have more stuff. You can have authentication, and they will generate a big template, and you can actually also have hosting in Azure. So, but I will choose this one. If I will use the same for the same site for Web API, I just mark this one, but today I'll just use the MVC one. So this should be enough. Then it will create the necessary stuff to make a website, and so it's generating from the template, and you see that we got a lot of folders, and some of the folders you actually already have seen. You have seen the model where we have the model for the Web API controller, and you also have seen that we have a folder for the controllers, and you also have seen that we actually got some stuff here, the root config. Maybe we should just have a short look at it, because if you remember, then last time when we are using the Web API, we actually have the possibility on if we have more than one method with the same parameters, we could set action in the root, and then we could actually also need the action to go to the right action. But today you will see that now it's default, so now we actually need also to write the action. So the action name is needed. And you will also see that the root is also having a parameter. So there will be a default where we can have an ID as a parameter. If we go a little bit ahead, you can see here. So this is actually optional, so we don't need that. But we could put in a parameter as well if we want that. And it will be the same problem making a good root as it was when we're using Web API. But now the first thing we will start to do is making a controller. So let's start making a little controller. And so add a new controller. And this time I will come back to this one a little bit later when we are making a module, but today I just choose an empty one, but a MVC 5 controller this time. So I said add, and then I need a name for the controller, and instead of calling it default controller, I probably could call it calc controller. So it will be my calc controller. So I say add, and you will see that it actually make a short template. So we got one element called index, So we could actually run it now and see its function, but we will actually have a little problem because you can see it's returning something. So, but the action name will be index. So it will, the controller is calc, so it will be calc/index this time to get to this method. So what we also can see is that we got the view folder here now. And you will see that when we make a controller, we actually also make a folder here with the same name as the controller. And this is actually important because when we are just saying view, return view here, then we actually are choosing a view from this one, a view with the same name. So this folder should contain, at this moment, a view called index if it should work. But let's try to comment it out and then make the first simple check. So we'll make a new one, just like this one, and no. So I remove this one, and instead of this one, we'll try to say string. So I can try to return a string and make the famous program. This is where most tutorials start. So now we actually have something to try. So I have now a function, an action called index, and I also got a method here. So let's try to run the application and see what's happening. And we've got an error, of course, because we don't have this this reference. We should now remember what was the name of the controller and also the action. But we can try first the controller. Was just calling calc, and then you can see that if you go to the routing, I don't know if you saw it, but when we don't have an action name, there was actually set in a default. So if we don't write anything here, it will be the action index. And so you can see we're actually having a result. So, and of course, this is a simple text result. We can do it a little bit better maybe. So let's try to change it a little bit. So we go back and we can try to see what the browser says. We are trying to do stuff like this one. Yes?
Should there be an index method in every controller?
No, not necessary, but normally you will have the first one, so you don't need to write an action, and normally it will be called index. It's not necessary, you can change it, but the normal will be that you've got an index action, and you will probably be showing the main page for this controller. So let's try to run it again. So you probably remember this is some tag, HTML tag, trying to make this bold. Maybe we should just put it here so we actually can see it's bold, else it can be a little bit difficult to see if everything is bold. So let's try to do it again and see what's happening. So you can see actually what we are sending back this time is is actually HTML. So if we take a look at the page, the browser will try to solve it as XML, and will try to HTML, of course, and will try to show it in that way. So now we could actually make directly what we want to. We can just put up directly HTML, but that will probably be hard stuff, and we will not, in that case, use all the facility of MVC, of course. But you can actually try it this simple way. So before we do anything else, we'll try to make a new action where we got some parameters. And what you actually see here is that it's a little bit different than when we use the web API, because now we actually are returning HTML, and we are not returning we are not returning XML or JSON. So that will be a little bit different, but it's still just some information returning back in text format. Even if it's HTML, it's still text. So let's try to make a little bit more complex method. So we'll try to make one more. We could still use this one, just keep it, but later we will actually change it a little bit, because we will use the index in this case as action name for what we are doing with the calculator. So I need to stop it, and then I try to copy it. Lazy programmer. So in this case, I will have two parameters. So I actually can send two information for it, and then this should, in this case, try to calculate the result. So we make an and now we can try something like this one. And if I could just, so now it's really nice. Plus, so yes.
Do you always return a string?
No, I'll come to that, because now it's just to show how it's working, and of course we don't want to write all the stuff here as plain text and set in the HTML here. So we will use a view in some second. But just to show that what's actually going on, then I think this one will tell more than most of the tutorials, because they are actually not telling what's going on behind. So we'll try to run this once again, and this time we can actually give it some parameters. So the question mark, and then we should remember what was the name of the parameters. num1 equal 5, and then the ampersand. So why will it not work? I can't. Well, it was
Shift 6.
Yeah. Let's try 8. So we got two numbers, and we'll try to. We could actually. It might be a good idea just stopping the debugger here so we can see what's going on. So let's try to run it. So in this case, we got an error. So we got a problem. So we actually need to write the action name. So now we need to write the action name. Still ambitious between the following index type, and the index should, well, strange. Let's have a look. So it should actually work. I just cut out this one in the first place. Oh yeah, of course. So the problem is that it's trying to use the
Mig og Rune, vi går over til Findus-projektet. Vi ved ikke om lige om vi kommer tilbage i dag.
Ja.
Hvordan det ser ud.
Det er som at I prøver at... Ja.
Ja, de andre skal nok holde øje med.
Ja, godt. Let's see if that helps. It doesn't. So what's the problem? Oh yeah. A good idea. Still got a problem with... No, it's not. So I just try to comment this one out. I'll make a comment for this one. Actually, it shouldn't, but anyway, I'll do it this way, and then we can... well, actually... No, it will not fit this one, yes. So we'll try to comment this one out and do it again. See if I can get it work. So we'll come back to that because the simple one is a little bit problem when we are using this. Normally we will only have one. It's actually a get method. I haven't written that on it, but normally we will have one get method, and then the other one will normally be a put or a post method. So in this case, you can see we come here. So we can have parameters like we have seen in the web API, and if I continue here, it should probably show result. Not pretty, there's a missing space, but we can see that we can actually pass parameter to this method. So this will show you the first simple one. I think I will cut the recording now, and then we'll continue making the next step. Then it could be breaking down in small pieces. So